morning and welcome to Falcon TV. It's Friday, October 16th, 2020. I'm Nadia along with the rest of the FTV crew. After extending the deadline to count every person in America, a process complicated by the coronavirus pandemic, the Trump administration reversed course. Critics see it as a political motive. However, this week the Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to halt the 2020 census count ahead of schedule, effectively shutting down what has been the most contentious and litigated census in memory and setting the stage for a bitter fight over how to use its numbers for the apportionment of the next Congress. Why does this matter so much? For now, we head over to Hassan Minhaj to explain the census importance.
It doesn't seem like it, but the 2020 census is one of the most important civil rights issues of our time. Everything we've talked about tonight, equal opportunity, equal access, equal treatment, is affected by the census. The Constitution says to count every single person in America, citizen or not, men, women, children. The census is important because it determines how nearly $700 billion is distributed to states. That's money for roads, schools, housing, healthcare. Census also determines apportionment. That's the number of seats in the House of Representatives that each state gets. The problem is that historically, minorities have been undercounted by a lot. That means they get less money and less political representation. And the citizenship question will only make that worse. The bottom line is, if you live somewhere like a city with undocumented people or with immigrants and they don't get counted, your community gets less money and less political representation.
The brief unsigned order formally only pauses the population count while the administration and a host of groups advocating a more accurate census battle in a federal appeals court over whether the count could be stopped early. However, it almost certainly ensures an early end because of the census, one of the largest government activities involving hundreds of thousands of workers, cannot be easily restarted, and little time remains before the current deadline at the end of this month. In fact, some census workers say the Bureau had already begun shutting down some parts of its count despite a court order to continue it. If not completed, it could be very harmful to many areas for years to come.
Yesterday concluded Hispanic Heritage Month, which had first begun as a national week in 1968, proclaimed as such by U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson. It stands for recognizing the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States, as well celebrating the traditions and cultures of all Americans who trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, and the Spanish-speaking nations of Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. National Hispanic Heritage Month began on September 15th and ended on October 15th. The term Hispanic or Latino refers to a person's culture or region, regardless of race. On the 2020 census form, people were counted as Hispanic or Latino or Spanish if they could identify as Mexican, Mexican-American, Chicano, Puerto Rican, Cuban, or another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. And speaking of awareness, today we hope you are wearing your finest pink as Oakcrest honors Pink Day, a work towards a cure and showing support for breast cancer awareness. The ribbon and the color have become very effective and recognizable over the decade. So you may see people coming around taking pictures of your donning your pink wear. So we hope you have your best shade on to show support for the day and the cause. So for me and everyone here at Falcon TV, have a great day.